There is only one solution when it comes to potentially fatal or permanently disabling medications and substances. Say, for instance, psychedelic mushrooms, the psilocybins. And we have to reinforce the reality of the danger in that these mushrooms, if you don't know them, they will kill you. You don't go out and eat mushrooms that you never never had before, or were never a patch you were never taken to by someone else, because of how closely um, the physical characteristics are to each other. And I'm sure the mycologists out there will agree on this. Um, and this is, well, it's Tuesday, right? So it's 2 days since I took that dose, and this in some ways it has really messed with my head psychologically, and I can feel the fluctuations in serotonin and dopamine by my monitoring my emotional state. And I didn't sleep very well this morning, and I've noticed that I've become even more sensitive to caffeine than I was before. So if I have a cup of coffee at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I can't sleep, you know, and it takes a lot of effort and high potency marijuana to knock me out for a while. It's just the way it is. You can't silence the cacophony of the neural network, right? I know there was some benefits to the whole thing, and I learned something about myself and the people around me. And sometimes I don't like doing it. I don't like provoking people to see who they are. But it's very much a sorrow filled day. This morning there was a lot of sirens going off, and I don't know exactly why. And that's a bit concerning, especially since I'm running this project. And you know, uh, obviously there's some chemical influence on this, but I'm feeling seriously alone right now. Feeling seriously isolated. I you know I'm on the verge of tears, and I can't exactly explain why. It's like I found out who my friends really were. And like I said, there's people in hell that deserve to be there, and hell is a place in other people. Like there's no worse a prison than a relationship um, that you can't get out of. And I've lost a lot of friends, and frankly, some of it is me. The rest of it is just that we grew apart. But the internet has seriously influenced my ability to move on from any real event. And that was always hard for me to begin with, was this change thing. I like things neat and orderly, with a certain amount of it's rough around the edges. I know exactly where everything is, and I'm comfortable in this setting. I'm not currently on anything. I smoked a J, a spliff, maybe about this morning. Again, I was just trying to get some sleep in, and I did from about 9 o'clock until now, just 5 p.m. I'll look here on my sleep here. It's just very light sleep. A lot of naps, micro naps, is just because there's this conflict in my head and questions that I'm unable to answer right now, because you can't find answers in drugs. You can only find answers in the Word of God. There's a reality of mushrooms in that they want you to eat them. They want you to expel them again, so they want you to puke. They want you to shit. They want you to urinate frequently. And there is an immune response and a shock response as a threat to the body, and so in a lot of cases you have to fight the urge to vomit. And I found the best way to really deal with that is either chocolate or yogurt. So hence the probiotic yogurt. Again, this is very risky, right? There's so little that we know about the brain and how consciousness is formed, and how we, even under observation. So the other thing is that certain strains of these mushrooms, they want you to kill yourself. The mushroom is influencing you to isolate and kill yourself so it can feed off of your body. Is somewhere else and form a new network there. So we understand that mushrooms are not exactly plants, and they're not exactly animals. They're somewhere in between, just like coral, right? They're not insects either. It's this alien thing that some reason exists, and yet it's become a symbiotic, inextricable link of ecology. Now, the function of the mushroom is that it's supposed, right, if it takes toxins out of the ground, then logically it'll take toxins out of you, because that's what they feed on. It takes them a very long time to break down those complex toxic, organic, toxic to organics, organic chemistry. And I could really use a hug right now. I really could. I don't like losing my temper, and I don't like rejection. I was playing around with someone earlier today that I've known since I was a teenager, and some of the body language is lost, because obviously the means of communication is the phone. And I think about the endemic that is afterwards, because of, along with other substances like ketamine, because of the antidepressant qualities that happen. And same thing with LSDs, that after the dose, you experience euphoria, which is the dopamine drip, which is what people are talking about, and what they're referring to is microdosing. But the long-term side effects of microdosing, even that, it has very little data, and it's becoming a responsibility at this point uh, because there's no one else to do it. Because there's people out there again with religious superiority and indignation, um, indignation, yeah, and they're never going to change. They will not ever change, and that's a real shame. They'll just continue to torture the rest of us until we convert to their religion. So it becomes a responsibility to the next generations of humanity that we have to do something. And we can't just continue on with this slacktivist culture. Oh, if I do a couple of keystrokes and I talk to a couple of people, then I'll move this mountain. But I tell you, there's no greater mountain to move than mortality. I'm going to die one day. And that's why I'm so angry. Because I feel like people didn't appreciate me. And right now, oh shit. I feel like there's not a woman in the world that would love me. What have I done with my life? This is the roller coaster ride that you go through with psychedelics, especially at higher dosages like I took. I would consider that 2 gram dose of that strain, which I'm calling Oneida Blue, because it's not a blue meanie. I don't know why I'm still here on this planet. I forgive you all, for you didn't know what you were doing. And I follow in the footsteps of the Father. Impressions in the sand. We think we know people, other people, and who they are. I just want to tell a woman that I love her. without her abandoning me and thinking that I'm weak.